got the photography bug and you're not sure where to start, the first thing you need to do essentially is to get a camera. Practice. There is a lot of resources online today that will help you through, your journey from a really raw beginner to, someone a bit more intermediate and even expert. Photography is a journey with, I would say, sometimes with no end. Art, it's an art, and you can always, find ways to improve. There's a technological aspect to it, so cameras are always getting better, sometimes more complicated. They can do more, whereas in the past, photography was really just still images. Now a lot of these cameras can do video, and video consumption is in big demand, and so you really need to learn how to use a camera. And the best thing to do is try to get a camera that can let you practice the exposure triangle. That's going to be your biggest challenge, is to understand how to set up your camera, the exposure, the aperture, the shutter speed. And you don't have to jump right into manual adjustments right away. You can put your camera in semi-automatic and maybe just have the aperture in a manual mode, and put the rest in automatic, and let the camera take care of ISO, auto white balance at the beginning, and slowly and gradually take over all the functions. I'll be honest with you, at the very beginning the camera did a much better job adjusting the exposure for me, and it gave me a little bit more time to practice how to frame better, and less stress on fiddling with the dials. But you really need to practice, and there's going to be a learning curve. So my suggestion would be, one, get you a camera that has manual adjustments. My recommendation would be to go with not the new cheap cameras that are made for beginners. I know that would be tempting to go with a brand new camera, but I would suggest to go with a camera that's been on the market for at least 5, even sometimes 10 years. I started with a Canon 5D Mark I, a DSLR, several years ago, and it really taught me how to get my exposure right. The megapixel at the time were limited, and at 15 megapixel, and the telephones are doing much better job nowadays and are much more capable. But that camera really taught me how to actually use all of the proper settings. And so get you a Canon 5D Mark I on the used market, and spend the next year practicing on that camera, and then afterwards you can upgrade to something more permanent, more professional. But really start there, and I think you will be really better for it. Next thing you want to do is try to shoot every day. Try to learn something new every day. Framing, get the white balance right, get the exposure right. Go out there, go walk the streets of your town, take pictures of buildings, take pictures of people, and really practice. And then you can jump to the other things like editing and all of the post-processing work. That isn't job in and of itself, but really get yourself a decent camera, and then, like I said, shoot every day as much as you possibly can. And then you'll see after a few months how much better you get. All right?